vaccination clinic helping members of southern Wisconsin's Hispanic community prevent the spread of COVID-19. Also, Oktoberfest is underway in New Glarus. We stopped by town to check in on the celebrations. And we're following Hurricane Fiona's landfall in Canada. This as a new storm is brewing in the Caribbean. That's all coming up right now at 10. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm McKenna Alexander. Though you may be seeing less people wearing masks and large events returning, the fight to stop COVID still hasn't stopped. Getting access to the vaccine has been different for people of all ethnic and racial backgrounds. A vaccine clinic in Madison this morning aimed to help one group reduce vaccine hesitancy. Our Catherine Merck has more from the Latino Academy of Workforce Development's clinic from this morning.
It's important that people continue with the vaccination.
2 years into the pandemic, some members of Wadeli Perona's community are still hesitant to get their shot.
Latino community, they need to increase the vaccination for COVID, and I try like a Latina to reach this group of my community.
The Kaiser Family Foundation says many Hispanic adults face additional barriers while trying to get vaccinated. That could include lack of health insurance or a usual source of care, lack of information about the vaccine being cost-free, and logistical barriers such as limited transportation.
It's really great that the people can have the clinics in the community because it's close to them. And it's very convenient because they don't need to drive to another places, and they can receive the vaccine here in the community.
Wadeli Perona is trying to be just one additional way to help expand the access.
They can trust in me because I'm Latina. I speak Spanish, the same language, and they can help to explain them what is going on with the vaccine and everything.
2 years into the pandemic, it's her way of getting people to say this without any doubt.
Don't scare about the vaccine.
Reporting in Madison, I'm Catherine Merck with News 3 Now.
Dr. Pirona is with the Coalition of Wisconsin Aging and Health Groups. The group works with local churches and Hispanic community organizations to help increase turnout at COVID-19 vaccine clinics. They do so by dispelling misinformation and reducing vaccine hesitancy. Let's get a look now at your certified most accurate forecast. Julian, really felt like fall out there today.
Absolutely, and the best part about it is that we're going to continue to feel those fall-like conditions, but we have been watching the showers that have developed over the last hour or two, and right now what we're seeing on our radar is just that band of showers, which is continuing to move its way throughout Dane County. We are looking at the back end, which is just on to the western side of Dane County, to start to fall apart though. So we are going to look at the later part of tonight to bring in more favorable conditions, meaning we're not going to be seeing too much more rainfall overnight. How we stacked up for today, it was definitely a fall-like day for us here in Madison. Temperatures were 60 degrees, normally around 70 around this time of year, so we were 10 degrees below average around this time of year, which just goes to show you that the cool conditions are going to continue. We're going to be pretty stable into the middle and upper 50s throughout the overnight hours, as cloud cover is going to really keep that heat in, or even just our temperatures into those upper 50s. However, we are still going to look at periodic showers to stick around for us. Winds aren't going to be too much of a factor throughout the course of the night either, which is also really good news. But we'll take a look at what to expect for our Sunday in just a few moments. Until then, back to you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. Well, in case you couldn't tell from those temperatures, it's fall, and every autumn, New Glarus hosts one of the premier Oktoberfest in the region. The celebration brings in people from all over, featuring beer, music, and more. Our Andrew Banster was there and has the story.
October came early in New Glarus this year. It's still September, but Oktoberfest is alive and well. Oktoberfest is a German tradition. It originally comes from the celebration of a wedding from the early 1800s.
A very long tradition that was based on Ludwig I's wedding when he married Teresa, and it's the Theresa-Weisen in Germany, and it has been an ongoing tradition in Germany and has spawned itself across the world ever since.
When people think of an Oktoberfest, they think beer. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of beer in New Glarus today, but there's also a lot more to it.
Well, you've got the music, of course, German heritage, the food. In this area right here in New Glarus, what we got today, we have all kinds of German food represented. That's just in Swiss food, really wonderful. So you've got this strong sense of heritage that goes along with it, just, in addition to the beer. But hey, there's nothing wrong with beer.
People come from far and wide for the 4-day event. Sure, they come for the spotted cow, but Oktoberfest in New Glarus, there's just something special about it.
The whole feeling of the buildings, the architecture, and everything else. The Swiss Miss cows that are wandering around next, just outside of town. It's great, just great.
For many at Oktoberfest, simply having fun and being around others was more than enough for them.
Last couple of years have been pretty rough, and just seeing people having a good time right now is really heartwarming.
Prost! So whether you're looking for good beer, good food, or good times, get down to Oktoberfest in New Glarus. It goes through Sunday. Don't miss out on one of the best in the region.
Like Andrew said, you can still make it to Oktoberfest through tomorrow night, and it has free admission. From New Glarus to Sun Prairie, beer was on the minds of a lot of people across southern Wisconsin this weekend, more so than normal. Sun Prairie hosted its 6th annual Fall Beer Taste. Put on by the Downtown Business Improvement District, more than 20 businesses were pouring 3-ounce samples of 2 flavors of Oktoberfest and fall-style ales. Besides sampling the brews, the event gets people out to explore the local shops throughout downtown Sun Prairie that they otherwise may not have shopped at before.
And the goal is to get people exploring local businesses, trying different beers, and just interacting with local business owners and staff.
If you were at tonight's Forward Madison FC match, you may have seen a large amount of cyclists before and after the match. The club teamed up with the Trek Bicycle to put on a family-friendly bike ride around Madison ahead of the game, beginning and ending at Brees Stevens Field. And what better way to end a bike ride by chowing down on tacos and beer? That's what awaited riders when they returned. Event organizers say the taco truck idea originated from an out-of-state truck bicycle shop.
So one of our stores in Johnson City, Tennessee, actually got a taco truck going down there, and this being Trek's backyard here in Madison, we said let's do it here too. So we have a great partner in the Forward Madison, and they were all on board to get it going, and we're very happy with how it turned out.
Well, despite the match outcome, hopefully everyone went home happy tonight. The Mingos fall 1-0 to Tormenta. In more local news this evening, Madison police are investigating after finding an abandoned car ridden with bullet holes this morning. An officer heard that car crash in the area of Stoughton Road at Milwaukee Street around 3 in the morning. It was then followed by what sounded like gunshots. Later, officers did find the vehicle they believe was involved in that crash. It was empty but marked with bullet holes. No injuries have been reported as of now. A judge has sentenced a North Fond du Lac man to 25 years in prison for allegedly setting multiple fires and having child pornography on his phone. 45-year-old Michael Miller was sentenced on 2 counts of arson, 5 counts of child pornography possession, 2 counts of first-degree reckless endangerment, 1 count of burglary, and 2 counts of criminal damage to property. All of them are felonies. Miller pleaded no contest to the slew of charges and had more than a dozen other charges dropped as part of a plea deal. After serving his sentence, Miller will spend another 25 years on extended supervision. Douglas Jensen, a January 6th rioter, has been found guilty on 7 charges related to that insurrection. Jensen was caught on security footage chasing Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman near the Senate chamber on January 6th. Prosecutors say he was among the first 10 rioters to enter the Capitol that day. Jensen's defense attorney says he believes his client got too involved with QAnon.
Well, we had a very conscientious jury, and for that we're thankful for. We're respectful of the jury verdict, no question about that. It was a sad case. A lot of these cases are sad, but particularly Mr. Jensen's case. In my personal opinion, I think Mr. Jensen had a lot of issues. He had a lot of problems back when all this occurred, and it's just sad.
5 of the felonies Jensen was convicted of can carry sentences of up to 20 years. Jensen will be back in court for sentencing on December 16th. A planned Tuesday launch attempt for the Artemis 1 rocket will not happen due to Tropical Storm Ian. NASA made the announcement this morning, telling its crews to stand down at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. A forecast released by the U.S. Space Force had put weather conditions brewing in the Caribbean at only 20% favorable for a launch. A decision on whether to roll back the Space Launch System rocket and Orion spacecraft off the launch pad to the vehicle assembly building has not yet been made. Tuesday would have been the 3rd launch attempt of the rocket. NASA says it will continue to monitor conditions before making to schedule another launch. Fiona, the hurricane that wreaked havoc in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean, is now classified as a post-tropical cyclone, but it's still packing dangerously powerful winds as it batters Canada. Christian Benavides brings us the latest.
High winds and heavy seas swept this home off its foundation in Newfoundland. Multiple homes in Port aux Basques were washed out to sea, and at least one woman was rescued and taken to the hospital. Storms of this magnitude don't normally pound the Canadian shoreline like this.
Where it fits in the history books, we'll have to make that determination after the fact, but it is going to be certainly a historic extreme event for Eastern Canada.
The damage has spread beyond the shoreline as well. The driver of this truck reportedly escaped with minor injuries. Power lines and trees are down throughout the region, leaving thousands without power. This is the same storm that battered the Caribbean for nearly a week. More than half of Puerto Rico is still without power after Fiona slammed into the island last Sunday.
We want to send in large amounts of food and water, but because of the infrastructure damage to roads, there are some areas that we just can't send trucks.
Meanwhile, another potentially devastating storm is gaining strength in the Caribbean. Preparations are underway in Florida as Tropical Storm Ian is churning a path towards the state. People are stocking up on bottled water and filling up gas tanks.
Asking people to make sure they have a plan. And then the next thing that we're going to be pushing out is know your evacuation zone and know your home. We call it know your zone, know your home.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has already declared a state of emergency as Ian is set to hit the state as a hurricane next week.
The governor's disaster declaration stretches along Florida's Gulf Coast from the Panhandle to the Keys. Still ahead at 10, how a local community is helping bring safe and clean drinking water to remote African villages.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at LensCrafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer and get 0% financing for 66 months.
It's time for new energy-efficient replacement windows from Champion.
Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Don't sweat over high energy bills. Stay comfortable in your home all year long. Call or go online to book your free estimate at getchampionwindows.com.
Keep bragging about your buck after the hunt with wild game processing from Johnson's Sausage Shop in Ryle, Wisconsin. Friends enjoy a hunting story more over a jalapeno cheddar stick. Johnson's Sausage Shop accepts wild game 7 days a week. First bucks in are the first brats out.
Joe Biden on Medicare for All.
It's going to raise taxes on middle-class people.
Medicare for All would double your income taxes, ban employer-provided and union health plans, and bankrupt Medicare for seniors. Mandela Barnes still supports Bernie Sanders' socialist takeover of your health care.
Medicare for All is the easiest way to get us to universal health care.
Mandela Barnes, more liberal than Joe Biden, way too liberal for Wisconsin.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Love that Chevy Blazer. That's our next SUV. Love that Equinox. That's our next SUV.
Nice Trailblazer.
It was love at first sight. What?
The Chevy family of SUVs. Find new options. Find new roads.
Well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing or get $1,200 cash allowance on all 2022 Equinox models. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
At Stanton Optical, you get great value on eye care, including contacts. Right now, get a 1-year supply of AccuView Oasis and an eye exam for only $189. Scan now to book your eye exam. Yay, technology.
I'm News 3 Now's Josh Spreiter. I'm visiting the people, places, and events that make this area one of a kind. Tell me what inspires you, and it might be featured on News 3 Now this morning.
In the 608, weekdays on News 3 Now this morning.
An international nonprofit has teamed up with a local church to help bring safe drinking water to families in Africa. Walk for Water is put on by Hope for Kids International, and it teamed up with McFarland Lutheran Church for a walk this morning, with proceeds going to provide clean and safe drinking water to a remote village in Uganda. Participants walked 3 miles, beginning at McDaniel Park, and continued on to the boardwalk along the shore of Lake Wabesa. Why 3 miles? Well, that's the average distance traveled each day by Ugandan children and women to collect water, largely from unprotected sources like open ponds and polluted ditches.
Water is such a basic right that it's something we take so for granted in the United States. Every time I take a shower or turn on the tap water now, I think, okay, don't waste water, because these people don't have it, and now they are getting it.
Ahead of today's event, the church had already reached its fundraising goal of $12,000. It aims to try funding 2 water wells with that money. Actress Louise Fletcher died late last night at her home in France. You probably know her for her role as Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The classic 1975 film centered on the patients and staff of a psychiatric hospital. That movie won 5 Oscars, including Fletcher's Best Actress, Jack Nicholson for Best Actor, as well as Best Picture. Fletcher was 88 years old. Some of us would love to leave fall cleanup behind and never look back. But it doesn't have to be so back-breaking and time-consuming. Experts with Consumer Reports share 3 of their top tips to help you clear the leaves and fall back in time this autumn.
When fall comes around, we definitely do dread the cleanup. It becomes a weekly task.
To keep on top of the fall leaves, Cynthia Welker enlists the help of her 2 boys.
It's almost like a bribe.
Consumer Reports' Paul Hope has 3 leaf removal tips to keep your fall cleanup in check. Coming in at number 1, an obvious but often overlooked tip: avoid breezy days.
Lots of people use weather apps to check things like temperature and whether there's rain in the forecast, but it's also a good idea to look for wind gusts before you start sweeping leaves.
Tip number 2, use a tarp to get those leaf piles from one spot to another faster. After you've gotten the bulk of your leaves out of the way, take a tip from CR and Cynthia and shred.
I have my tractor that we use, and that picks up all of the leaves, and it makes life 1,000 times easier.
Mulching your leaves actually solves 3 problems. For starters, it's a great way to use up the leftover gas in your mower's tank before winter storage, but it also helps get rid of your leaves and feeds your lawn.
When you shred your leaves with a mower, they turn into a nutrient-rich compost for your lawn. If you want to save even more time and effort, give your rake a break and consider a leaf blower. This Toro clears leaves at an impressive speed, and because it's battery-powered, it's quieter. If you don't mind being tethered to a cord, this electric blower, also from Toro, costs less than $100 and performs nearly as well as the battery-powered model. It's pretty noisy, though, so you'll need to wear hearing protection. This is Teresa Panetta.
Consumer Reports says you can also use your mower's bag attachment when you mulch your leaves and then use those clippings as a bedding around your shrubs. Just be sure to first clear away the whole leaves underneath. Let's get a look now at your certified most accurate forecast with meteorologist Julian C. Wright.
Well, to start things off, we're going to take a look at our surface map, which has been funneling plenty of the showers that we're seeing just stretch across much of the upper Midwest, but specifically for us here in Wisconsin and in parts of Illinois and northern Illinois, to be exact. That low-pressure system has been funneling plenty of showers and now even storms over the past couple of hours. We're going to be expecting to see those still hang around into the overnight, so don't expect it to be rather dry for us. But just note, it is just a line of a band of showers and storms. It's not very widespread. So our friends over towards the west, even from Platteville, Prairie du Chien, and Lone Rock, you guys are dry. It's going to be cloudy for tonight. It's going to be cool, but we're not going to have to worry about any more showers starting to develop in those areas overnight for us. As we can see, the track continues to push itself east and is even falling apart in parts of Dane County as of right now. Now, taking a look outside, not going to be seeing too much, but just a little small hints that we are still dealing with some rain here in Madison. Over the next couple of hours, we're looking at some periodic showers for us. but temperatures are going to stay rather stable into the middle and upper 50s, especially since the cloud cover is going to stay so firm here in southern Wisconsin. We're not looking for those temperatures to really drop much further than the mid-50s overnight. Now, taking a look at what we're going to be seeing by midnight tonight, we're still looking at a couple of showers, but still falling apart from that band as it's continuing to track in from the north to southern Wisconsin. Then we're going to be looking at Boscobel, Lone Rock, and even here in Madison and Mineral Points, could start to see a couple of showers around 2 a.m. and then start to see it phase out by the time we get into 4 a.m. Then, once we get into our Sunday morning, folks, we're looking at potentially another band really early, and it's just going to be really quick but small rounds of rain that we could be expecting throughout our late morning hours and even to our early afternoon. But that's mainly going to be into the eastern side of southern Wisconsin for us. So once we get to around 3 o'clock, temperatures are actually going to be on the rise. We're looking at opening skies, so plenty of sunshine is going to be in our eyes, as we're going to be seeing throughout the course of our Sunday. Once those temperatures get into the middle and upper 60s, things are going to be rather smooth for us, especially as we transition into Monday. But take note, it is going to be a windy day for us for our Sunday, and especially heading into our Monday as well. Not looking for too much more in terms of rain precipitation over the course of about the next 24 hours. Could see about a quarter to an inch for some areas, but overall, things aren't going to be too wet overnight. Now, as we take a look at tomorrow, temperatures could be around 66 degrees for us, but again, it is going to be a breezy day for us as we're looking at wind speeds to be sustained from 15 to 25 miles per hour, and that does not even include the gusts, which could hit 30 for some areas. Outside of that, cool and dry days are in store for us and are going to be hanging around for the next few days, especially since we have plenty of sunshine in the forecast. Outside of it, it's going to feel a whole lot like fall. If you guys have been waiting and just wanting all this cool weather, this week is going to, well, the next 10 days is going to be exactly what you order, as we're going to be into the 60s and 50s and plenty of sun to kind of.
These mid-temperatures, I know I've said before, really didn't feel like we got a spring last year. Kind of went from winter to summer really fast. I never opened up my windows because it was too cold and too hot.
Yeah.
And it's been so nice. I've had my windows open. I've said it so many times today. It smells amazing outside.
Yeah.
And it's just, we're finally getting the fall when we didn't really get a spring. So I'll take this.
It's funny because a lot of viewers have talked to me about, oh, you know, it's just a fake fall. I really hope this one lasts.
Well, maybe. It might be a fake fall, but I'll take it. At least I'll take a little bit of fall while I can get it.
Exactly. Hopefully in October we can be sustaining a little bit.
Exactly. All right, thanks, Julian. Still ahead, the Badgers get humbled in Columbus. Jordan joins us with highlights from tonight's tough loss against the Buckeyes.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, now during truck season, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
At a company, the culture comes from the top. Tim Michaels' company has been sued numerous times over sexual assault and harassment in the workplace. Women who worked for Michaels' company said they were groped, assaulted, and pressured to have sex with their bosses. Higher-ups at Michaels dismissed the women as liars and even fired those who spoke out. Is that what we need for Wisconsin? Tim Michaels, too radical, too divisive.
At Machinery Row Bicycles, you'll find bicycle store quality electric e-bikes from Trek, Electra, Felt, Giant, and more. Trek offers the best-selling e-bike in America, Trek Verve Plus, under $2,500. At Machinery Row Bicycles, you'll find fat e-bikes, mountain e-bikes, road e-bikes, bike path e-bikes, and more. Free services included. The place to shop for your new e-bike is Machinery Row Bicycles, the most beautiful bicycle store in the world.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
The 2023 Ford F-150 trucks are coming, meaning more ways to haul, tow, go, and do, and with more ways than ever to make it your own. Plus, if you order now, you'll lock in your price and lock in your rate. Do more in a 2023 Ford F-150. Custom order yours today. Lock in 2.9 for 60 and get 500 retail order bonus cash when you order a Ford F-150. Only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison.
It's been 18 years since Wisconsin beat Ohio State in Columbus, and 12 years since they beat them at all. The Badgers know they're heading into a tough environment tonight as the underdogs, but they're ready for the challenge. The Buckeyes quickly make their presence known, scoring just 2 minutes in. OSU ends the first quarter with 3 touchdowns. Well, Wisconsin tries to get back into this game, and they do get something going in the second quarter. Graham Mertz lofts one up for Skylar Bell. That's a 26-yard gain. Well, a couple plays later, Mertz with the keeper, and the Badgers are finally on the scoreboard. Well, then defense comes in clutch. John Torchio picks off C.J. Stroud right before halftime. That's Stroud's first interception of the season. But even with some of those plays, it is hard for the Badgers to catch up. Wisconsin falls 52-21 in its Big Ten opener, but will return home and face Illinois next week. Some high school football action this afternoon. Third-ranked Broadhead Judah hitting the gridiron today, and these Cardinals are just barreling through the season. Undefeated, the last 4 games they've scored 41 points, and their Week 6 matchup comes against conference opponent Dodgeville. Dodgers with the ball, they're trying to make some moves until Blake Mathias picks off the pass. Now he's putting in work on both sides of the ball this afternoon. After setting up the offense, he finishes this drive with a touchdown, and that's just the start. The Cardinals are up 15-0, looking to add to their lead. It's Mathias once again who takes it in. The Cards make it 22-0 early in the second quarter. Broadhead Judah continues its undefeated streak, scoring a season-high 50 points against Dodgeville, 50-12 the final. After being ruled out this week because of a hamstring injury, the Packers have officially placed Sammy Watkins on the injured reserve. But the team might be getting some extra help tomorrow on offense. Reports say that David Bakhtiari is expected to play. All right, well, we checked in on the Pack's offense, but what about defense going up against Tom Brady? This season, he's thrown for over 400 yards with 2 scores and an interception, almost identical to Aaron Rodgers' stat line. But the Bucs offense as a whole is scoring almost 20 points a game, is going over 300 yards a game. So how will Green Bay's defense stack up?
We got a veteran group that's played together, and certainly we're going to have to mix some things up potentially, and because there's nothing that Tom hasn't seen. So we're going to have to do a great job. Everybody's going to have to own their responsibility and play within themselves and within the scheme.
Brewers riding a 3-game win streak into Game 3 with the Reds tonight. They also sit 2 games out of the 3rd wildcard spot. Well, trailing by a run, Hunter Renfroe answers the call. It's a 2-run shot to the upper deck. Do you think he's done? No. Next inning, Renfroe with another 2-run homer. Renfroe, he's just put on a show tonight. He finishes with 5 RBI as the Brewers win 10-2. They're going to go for that 4-game sweep tomorrow afternoon.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Jillian's back with this after one more final check of our forecast.
It changes your entire world. I know because I was a victim myself. So to think there are people like Senator Ron Johnson in Washington who'd make it harder. Ron Johnson supported the Supreme Court's decision outlawing abortion in Wisconsin, even for victims of rape and incest, allowing doctors and nurses to be prosecuted. When I think about other victims and what they're going to have to go through because of Ron Johnson, he doesn't share our values. S&P is responsible for the content of this ad.
New Salonpas Lidocaine Flex, a super thin, flexible patch with maximum OTC strength lidocaine that contours to the body to relieve pain right where it hurts. And did we mention it really, really sticks? Salonpas, it's good medicine.
It's time
time for new energy-efficient replacement windows from Champion.
Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Don't sweat over high energy bills. Stay comfortable in your home all year long. Call or go online to book your free estimate at getchampionwindows.com.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer and get 0% financing for 66 months.
So, what do you think?
We're prepared to offer cash.
When you get great deals at Denny's,
$5.99.
You'll start to expect great deals everywhere. New all-day diner deals starting at $5.99. 10 delicious meals, only at Denny's.
Hey, Dad, I'm almost out.
I got you.
Any questions, Chris?
All good. Thanks, Maura. There you go. One new inhaler.
Nice. Did you get my refill, too?
Maybe.
There you go, sir.
You're a lifesaver.
So nice day.
Healthier is managing all your family's prescriptions in one app. CVS Pharmacy. Healthier happens together.
I worked on the force for 30 years. I've seen plenty of politicians, but Mandela, he's the real deal. Mandela doesn't want to defund the police. He's very supportive of law enforcement, and I know his objective is to make every community in the state of Wisconsin better. I trust him to get the resources that we need to keep people safe and to reduce crime in the first place. As a retired cop, I want someone like Mandela. Mandela is the right guy for the job.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
It's your home, and everything should be just right. I'm Brent Ziegler for H&R Carpets and Flooring, where our design staff will help you choose just the right flooring and save you $500. It's a pretty fabulous sale. Come see us.
Help us collect kids' winter coats during Coats for Kids.
And a final check on our forecast. The rain that we're dealing with as of right now, well, it looks to start to end by the time we get into our Saturday late morning hours, but some areas could see a couple of showers into our afternoon. Outside of that, the cloud cover is going to clear up. The sun is going to just stick around for us. And with that return of the sun, we're going to see temperatures back into the middle 60s. Some areas will see even warmer. Then throughout the course of this week, we are going to be seeing breezy conditions and fall-like conditions as temperatures are into the lower 60s and the mid-50s throughout much of the next week.
Got to start getting your sweater out.
Yeah.
I need to find my sweaters.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.